He ain't gonna get away with this. Not on my dead body. I don't care what they say. I'm gonna find him guilty. But let me tell you about our people. Now, y'all can say whatever you want to say. I'm gonna say this. It's our fault. You know why I say it's our fault? Because we want to do something last minute. When they saw this situation, everybody should have been crying, screaming. When they said it was an all white jury, wasn't no black on there, we should have stepped up then. Yeah. We can't wait and put it in their hands because why? Those people's angry. Those people's upset. Then they dressed it like this here. They dressed it like, here, murder. A good Christian kid. If I was white, I'm gonna be honest, and I see these videos, these news, this kid, two twins, they was good students, A students, and I'm a white guy, and I'm looking like, oh man, he ain't gonna get away with this. Not on my dead body. I don't care what they say. I'm gonna find him guilty. You know why? Because watch this. Y'all say there was good Christian. They good Christian. Some of these was good Christian person. Let me tell you why they not a good Christian. Because the Bible said, Father, forgive them for what they know, not what they do. Show me a Christian supposed to get revenge. Even if we hear them, they not even trying to practice what they say they stand for. So I don't want to hear about them being good Christian. Because if they was a good Christian, they would have been concerned and said, maybe I don't want to see him get life. I don't want to see him I want his heart changed. I want to go. Let me show you how compassionate black folks is. Yeah. You remember when that police officer killed that guy in apartments? That Christian brother said,
Botham John.
Yeah, that's what he said, man. He said he want to see us saved.
Yes, came and spoke.
Had compassion. Said, immediately. I want to say, anybody else would have said, this man was in his house. That's murder. Mind his own business. And she gunned him down. But black people, here we go. And I agree. I'm not saying, said, I don't want to say, and hugged her and cried. Cried with her. Good Christian boy.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get Mapcat do that. He want revenge. So good Christian man.
Both the son and the brother, Hunter Metcalf, and also Karmelo did not speak. What are your thoughts? Because again, it's a trial jury. I don't know if you spoke on yours, but I doubt it. But do you feel? Yeah,
no, that's a good question.
Yeah, please go ahead and speak on that.
I sure want to emphasize on that too. First of all, the other brother twin didn't speak because it contradict everything he said, and they would have ate him up. You know something is hot. If you don't speak, and you were there and saw your brother get murdered, tell me somebody. You the main voice. You the main tool we're gonna use. You were there, and we don't use you. Let me show you how ignorant our people is. I hear a brother saying he deserved, the black people are, he's not on trial for being black. He's on trial for murder. I'm sorry how dumb these folks is, how ignorant they is. This white kid and the DA was way smarter than a lawyer. They made sure he don't come in that courtroom because that would have opened up the case to a whole lot of questions. Was you there? Was you beside your brother? Because he said he was sitting there. He couldn't lie. You're going to get him in trouble.
Right.
Watch that. We don't want to torture his mind. No, come on. He was on news. Y'all question him on news. Why he can't question him in the courthouse? This is where it really counts. Because he made a statement that he cannot come back and clean up. Because the lawyer would have said, did you say your brother snatched his bag? Then you didn't even mention that he pushed him or grabbed him or whatever. You just said this kid was just talking reckless and my brother told him get up on the tent and snatch his bag. He ain't never tell my brother put his hand on him. He never said my brother grabbed him and tried to move him. He ain't gonna say that. You know why? Because they rehearsed him before he got on news. They told him what to say and what not to say. You can tell because he said on news, I pay attention to everybody. He said, I'm not gonna I ain't gonna say too much more. Here's the point. Now, why did Karmelo didn't take the stand? I was very hurt. Now, I told his dad before he went to trial, I said, can you do me one favor? You say, I'm your pastor. I'm here for you. Can you do me one favor for me? I said, tell him take the stand. He said, well, his lawyer request. I said, man, forget his lawyer. I'm crying with him on the phone. I said, please, I couldn't sleep. I said, if you trust me to be the man of God, if you trust me to be who you say I am, I said, please tell him take the stand. I said, can I tell you why? Everybody listen to what they think about it, their opinion, what they feel. They hearing everybody what they saying. I said, let them hear his heart. Just like when people heard that video when he said, I told him not to touch me, he touched me. That right there alone, that little bit alone touched me.
Come on.
And said, oh, but if he would have opened up, you can't get too mad at the white jury, I gotta be honest, because you didn't give them a chance to hear his heart. If he would have told him, they would have been in the mindset, maybe this was a tragedy. Maybe Satan is using this opportunity to divide the world. Maybe we need to look at this in another way. Maybe we need to get our feeling and emotion out of it, because I think it's something else over here. Me hearing this kid, and Joker, you went to his house, you talked to him. You know how that kid is. We know.
They needed to hear him.
They need to hear him.
Yeah.
We know. When I first heard the voice, I said, oh no, this ain't no gangster. Yeah. Oh no, this is a kid that made a mistake. But if the lawyer tell you don't say nothing and thinking he wiser, listen, everybody got a heart. I don't care how evil they are, they still got a heart. They got a heart for their kids. Even though they don't like black folks, they still got a heart. You see what I'm saying? If a black don't like white, he still got a heart for his black. So I believe if he would have just told them what he shared with you, what he shared with everybody else, they would have heard his heart and they would have said, oh, no, something ain't adding up. This kid ain't the kid that was walking around sagging and looking for trouble.
He's not the average, the norm.
He's not the average norm. Something ain't right here. And maybe he wouldn't have got 35 years. I'm just being honest.
I think they would have found him guilty, but the 35 years is because he didn't speak.
Because he didn't speak. And I told his dad, I said, if he don't speak.
He's just a number on a paper.
This is what I tell him. I said, if he don't speak, I said, if you don't let him talk, I said, you're going to regret it. I told him. And let me tell y'all something. I tell people who always say he murdered, y'all so ignorant. Y'all don't have no sense.